Luis Eduardo Matos. Welcome in, everybody, to another episode of the Soder Report. My name is Kyle Soder, King, President, and Emperor of the Luis Matos fan club. I'm Michael Jackson, you Tito. So, first of all, before we get into today's win over the Colorado Rockies, we're going to first shout out our sponsor, Elite Cacao Supplements. Are you feeling foggy? Do you have brain fog? Do you feel like you have memory loss? Head on over to Elite Cacao Supplements and get your Elite Cacao Supplements today for better cognitive function, memory recall, and alertness. Each purchase helps put food on the table for a farmer. So, as I said, and as I've said many times, I am the King, Emperor, and President of the Luis Matos fan club. Luis Matos, in this game today, goes deep for the first hit of the day for the San Francisco Giants. Admittedly, that's not the biggest hit of the day. Matt Chapman hits a grand slam, and the San Francisco Giants win 6-3. So we're going to break this game down, and we're also going to break down how the Giants season is going as a whole, because it's been a while since I've done a San Francisco Giants breakdown. So excited to get to that today. But first, want to shout out to Luis Matos, and I want to talk about his journey to this point, because I feel like context is key. A lot of people look at Luis Matos's 167 batting average coming into today's game, and they think that Luis Matos is a bad player. And as chair of the Luis Matos fan club, I couldn't disagree anymore. Luis Matos, I think he is an electric baseball player. I think that when he is in a rhythm and when he's on, he breathes life into a team just as much as Willy Adames does. And that might sound a little crazy to say, but I think that's the truth. Last year, when Luis Matos was up with the team and he had his NL Rook Player of the Week, when he won his NL Player of the Week where he batted in 16 runs, that team absolutely fed off of his energy. They went 8-1 when Matos, Luciano, and Heliot Ramos were all up together. They were just playing electric baseball. They were taking extra bases. They were celebrating in the dugout. That team, they brought chemistry together. And I think Luis Matos brings that if he's playing every day, or at least most days, but he hasn't been playing hardly at all this season. So I wanted to go over Luis Matos's timeline. So we're going to step back in a time machine and head back to the year 2023. So let's head back to 2023. Luis Matos is 21 years old, and he gets the call up to the San Francisco Giants because they are just running out of outfielders. He's hitting well with AAA, but they just run out of outfielders, so they need Luis Matos to come up. and he plays center field, and he plays every day as a 21-year-old. He hits .250 with a .319 on base percentage, only 2 homers, and 3 stolen bases, and 33 strikeouts. So that was what is that strikeout percentage? 33 strikeouts in how many plate appearances? I'm only seeing at bats. 253 plate appearances. So he only struck out 13% of the time as a 21-year-old. So those are respectable numbers for a 21-year-old. And they're promising going into his next year. You would figure that he would have a strong shot at making the starting job in 2024. Well, the Giants go out, they sign Jung-Hoo Lee and Michael Conforto. He who shall not be named. That name, Michael Conforto, I can't even say it anymore on the show because it just makes my blood boil every time I think about him. Obviously, I think starting him was a mistake. I didn't think he was a good player with the San Francisco Giants, and I'm glad he's gone. Go drag down the Dodgers. Go ahead. But he gets the starting spot over... He and Yaz start over Matos, and Matos is back down in Sacramento. Even though he had an incredible spring training that year where he hit over 300. He was the hottest hitter in San Francisco Giants spring training. But he gets sent down to the minor leagues. Mike Yastrzemski in the first series of that year, remember, he goes on paternity leave. Matos gets recalled from Sacramento. He has 1 plate appearance in 5 days while Mike Yastrzemski is on paternity leave. And he gets sent back down to AAA. And by then, his rhythm is all messed up, so he goes into a slump. A couple months later, he gets back out of that slump. He's playing really well. Some injuries happen. A spot in the outfield opens up, and he comes up and wins NL Player of the Week. As I said, batting in 16 runs in 1 week. Awesome. Keep him there, right? No. Michael Conforto gets healthy, and Luis Matos struggles for 7 games or something, and Farhan sends him right back down to AAA. And he keeps yo-yoing back up and down for the rest of the year. He can't get a rhythm in the big leagues. There's no consistent playing time. He's got 1 foot in San Francisco, 1 foot in Sac, and he ends up hitting .213 with 5 home runs and no stolen bases. And he only had 156 at bats, so even less than he had as a 21-year-old. So that's concerning to see. This is a prospect with some massive upside that's getting mishandled. Luckily, though, Farhan is out after the year. Posey is in. And it seemed to me before the season started that Buster Posey was planning on rehabbing the organization. He gave an interview where he said that specifically. Someone asked him if their goal was to win a World Series, and of course he said, yes, the goal is to win a World Series. That's not news. Every single organization's goal is to win a World Series. Well, not really, but Buster Posey's goal is to win a World Series. But if you asked that to, I don't know, the owner of the Tampa Bay Rays, or let's say the Sacramento A's. If you ask the owner of the Sacramento A's what his goal is it, if you ask him if his goal is to win a World Series, he's obviously going to say yes. But we all know that's not the truth. We all know that his goal is to make as much money as possible. It's not to have success on the baseball field. So I believe Buster Posey when he says his goal is to win a World Series, obviously, but I don't think that's saying a whole lot. He then went into depth talking about rehabbing the organization, and I think that's what the real answer was in that press conference. The answer to the question, are you going to win a World Series, wasn't, yes, we're going to try to win a World Series. The answer to that question was, we're going to try to win a World Series, but we have to rebuild this organization first. This organization is in a bad spot. We have to bring in a shortstop, and we need to find pitchers who can eat innings, and we need to figure out who our 2026 right fielder is. We need to figure out who our 2026 second baseman and first baseman and DH are. So that was what I interpreted from that. This year I thought spring training and roster cuts this year were fascinating. Christian Koss made the major league team. So it truly was, if you performed in spring training, you were going to make the major league team. It wasn't just a formality, it was an actual tryout. And Luis Matos played extremely well in this year's spring training. He started the season hitting .400. He hit a home run against the Houston Astros. He had a 2-hit game in that game. But his playing time quickly evaporated, and people were saying it's because Mike Yastrzemski was playing extremely well, which is true. Fact check, true. Mike Yastrzemski has been playing extremely well. But Luis Matos was also playing extremely well, and you just shelved him. He was hitting over .400, and he had hit a home run, and you stick him on the bench? I don't really understand that. Because you stick him on the bench because Yaz hit a walk-off splash hit. That's cool, that's great. Yaz should be in the lineup, don't get me wrong. Yaz is playing good enough to get playing time every day. But you can't just leave Luis Matos on the bench. I've talked in a few episodes about my expectation for the Giants this year being a 77-win team. And I said that thinking that they were going to figure things out for the future. And I said I was okay with them being a 77-win team as long as they knew who Luis Matos was after 2025, as long as they knew who Tyler Fitzgerald was, as long as they knew who Hayden Birdsong was. I wanted them to figure out who they had within the organization, because the easy answer to being a playoff team is to go out and sign Juan Soto, Pete Alonso, Alex Bregman, and Corbin Burns. You go out, you sign those four, you're a playoff team. That's super easy. Any general manager or president of baseball operations can do that if they have an owner willing to spend the money. The problem is Greg Johnson isn't willing to spend the money. He's cheap. He's a real estate guy. He has said over and over that his goal at the end of the year is to break even. And newsflash, he's not walking into the meetings at the end of the year with his investors and telling him, "Hey folks, congratulations everyone, we broke exactly even." So none of us are taking home any cash. The San Francisco Giants profited $0 and lost $0. That's not how the end of the year meetings goes. His investors have a set price. Now, none of us know what that is, but his investors know what they want to make at the end of the year, and Greg Johnson makes sure that the San Francisco Giants hit that. When he says break even, what he actually means is profit as much as possible. Important to remember, San Francisco is the 5th biggest sports market in the United States. And with the A's leaving, the Giants are the only team there. So you can absolutely afford those players, you just didn't want to. But that's not what I want to talk about right now. That's more off-season talk. But I wanted to make that point because the reason Buster has to rehab the organization is because he can't just go sign free agents. I hope I made sense there, saying that I want to see Luis Matos, Grant McCrae, Marco Luciano, Wade Meckler. I want to find someone to play right field in 2026. As president of the Luis Matos fan club, I hope it's him. I think he is a phenomenal player. I think he's got great bat-to-ball skills. I think he's a great base runner. I think he's a great outfielder. I think he makes clutch plays. If it's not him, if you play Luis Matos every day and you find out that he's just not a major league talent, and you move on to Grant McCrae and find out that he is, great. You've got your 2026 starting outfielder. That's wonderful. I just want to see this team rehab the organization rather than stray from long-term plans because they went 19-13 in April. So that's the issue that I have with the Giants right now is I thought we had a plan. I thought we were on the same page. But Mike Yastrzemski played well in April of 2025, and now you're abandoning that plan? Am I interpreting that right? I don't know if I'm interpreting that right or not. If I'm completely off my rocker, then someone please tell me in the comments. But what I interpreted from the off season was we were going to figure out what the organization has. And prior to Friday's game, Thursday or Friday, I can't remember which one. But before one of those games, Luis Matos hadn't played in a full week. And he was in for 2/3 of the game. He got pulled after the 6th inning. And people wonder why he's hitting 167. It's because he's not playing. He's a 23-year-old and he's not playing. You can't get your timing down by getting at bats once a week. You get your timing down by playing every day, or at least 3 times a week. So that's my issue with the Giants right now. I know that their record is good at the end of April. I really think that it would be a massive long-term mistake if the San Francisco Giants decided to go all in on making the playoffs this year and neglect the future. For example, if they traded, I don't know, if they traded Carson Whisenhunt at the deadline. They trade Carson Whisenhunt for an average first baseman. An average first baseman on a 1-year rental. I think that would be a massive mistake. I don't think the Giants should do that. I think that they should stick to the plan that Buster had coming in and rehab the organization. I know Yastrzemski is playing well right now. He's hitting in the 280s. I think we all also recognize that we know exactly who Mike Yastrzemski is, and that's not a bad ball player. Mike Yastrzemski isn't a bad baseball player by any means. But we all know that Yastrzemski is going to hit between 230 and 240. He's going to hit about 15 home runs, 15, 16, 17 home runs. He's going to strike out about 25% of the time, and he's going to play good defense. That's a solid player in today's game. That's, you'll take that, but it's not someone that should be blocking potential superstars. Right now, Luis Matos is a question mark. Grant McCray is a question mark. Luciano, question mark. All these guys, question marks. Mike Yastrzemski is a known commodity. And someone like Yastrzemski or Lamont Wade Jr. or Wilmer Flores shouldn't be blocking question marks that have high upside. So I know the Giants are doing really well so far this year. I know you shouldn't mail it in. You shouldn't try to miss the playoffs. But you can't stray from a long-term plan in year 1 of a new regime to try to make the playoffs and put yourself in a hole in later years. That's what would really hurt the long-term well-being of the San Francisco Giants. So, hopefully, Matos can get it going. Like I said, went over his timeline. He plays well when he gets consistent playing time. When he's getting yo-yoed, going back and forth, either from Sacramento to San Francisco or from San Francisco to left bench, that's when he struggles. Because a 23-year-old just isn't going to get his timing down at the major league level when he's chewing on seeds in the dugout. It's just not going to happen. So hopefully Luis Matos is in the lineup tomorrow. I think he should have earned it. He hit a home run, but the last game he hit a home run, he wasn't in the lineup the next day. So we'll see what happens. But let's go over the box score for tonight's game. Let's talk about it. I'm not going to be on here for too long. Probably just 5-10 more minutes or so. But I wanted to get a Giants episode in because it's been a while. So, Giants beat the Rockies. Rockies are now 6-27. The Giants are 21-13. We are 34 games into the season for the Giants. Keep in mind, at 40 games, the everyday players' statistics should be like, they're not fluky anymore. It's not just a hot or cold streak. It's after 40 games, that's a good enough sample size to start taking stuff. To start actually looking at stuff and evaluating. So, first, Mike Yastrzemski. He was 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. His average is down to 275. Willie Adames, 1 for 2, 2 walks, and a strikeout. He's starting to swing the bat a lot better. Let's see, what was his hit today? Was it, it was just a single. Okay. Jung-Hoo Lee, 1 for 4, 1 RBI. He's starting to come down to earth a little bit. Love Jung-Hoo Lee, but he wasn't going to hit 350 the entire year. So, I think he's just fine. This is normal. This is expected. So, don't freak out about Jung-Hoo Lee. Matt Chapman, 1 for 3. He had the big hit in the game. Grand slam, 4 RBIs. He also took a walk. Matt Chapman on the year as a whole, he's playing okay. He's only hitting 205, but he's hit quite a few home runs, and he's playing excellent defense. So, hopefully he can get that batting average up, but we're doing fine for now with Matt Chapman. Heliot Ramos took an 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. I thought he was starting to come out of a slump. Not today, though, unfortunately. So, hopefully he bounces back tomorrow. Lamont Wade Jr. took another 0 for 4. His at-bat quality has been starting to get better. We need to see some production at this point. He's been playing almost every game, and it just hasn't been happening for Lamont Wade Jr. so far. So we need to start seeing some production from him. Patrick Bailey, he's 1 for 3. Good to see him get a hit. He's only hitting 161 right now. And then Luis Matos, talked at length about him. 1 for 1, oddly enough. 1 for 1 with the home run, and then he took 2 walks. So his average is only up to 167. OPS only at 555. Like I said, he just needs some consistent playing time. Also, during his slump, he was rolling over to shortstop a ton. So he really needs to start using right field again. Once I see him start using right field again, that's when I'll feel a lot better about Luis Matos, because that's what he was doing in spring training. That's what got him on the team. But lately, he's just been pulling everything. So I like the home run. I liked his hit a couple days ago. Seems like he's starting to come out of the slump. Maybe. He's got to start using right field, though, to unlock his full potential. Brett Wisely was 0 for 3 with a strikeout. So, with Wisely, that's not a guy with super high ceiling, but it's a guy with higher ceiling than Christian Koss. So, I would prefer to see Brett Wisely in the lineup more often than Christian Koss is in the lineup. I feel like Brett Wisely at least has the potential to get hot, go on a run. We saw it last year. Christian Koss, he's 27 years old. I just don't see it with him. Good story. Good feel-good story. I just don't know. Jordan Hicks with another good 5 innings, but another bad 6th inning. His ERA is up to 6.03. Had 3 earned runs today. Randy Rodriguez, he had an interesting inning a couple days ago, but today he comes in, locks it down, ERA of 1.23. Camilo Duvall in the 7th for some reason. So this was kind of weird by Bob Melvin. 7th inning he went to Duvall. 8th inning he went to Miller, and for the save he went to Ryan Walker, and he closed it out. So that's a little interesting to me, going Duvall, Miller, Walker. I don't know. I don't really know why he chose to do it that way, but it worked. So, not going to complain too much. Jordan Hicks. How much longer should Jordan Hicks be in the starting rotation? Okay. I'm looking at this with you guys because I haven't actually looked at this before this. I was so excited about Luis Matos getting his home run. But Jordan Hicks, according to Fangraphs, it looks like they expect him to have an ERA of 4.06 at the end of the year. Right now, his ERA is 6.12. His expected ERA is 3.93. And his fielding independent pitching is 3.68. So, the expected numbers are better than the actual numbers for Jordan Hicks right now. But I think we can all see with our eyes that once he gets in that 6th inning, he has a tough time. So, I mean, if at some it's both. It's both Bob Melvin and it's Jordan Hicks. As Bob Melvin, as the manager, you have to know your guys. You have to know Jordan Hicks struggles once he gets past the 5th inning. As a starting pitcher, you should be able to go 6 innings. So, it's both of them. They both need to. Bob Melvin needs to help Jordan Hicks out. I mean, if Hicks earns the right to start the 6th inning, then let him go out there, but have someone warming up as soon as the 6th inning starts. Have someone warming up. If Jordan Hicks is going out for the 6th. Because his leash in that 6th inning needs to be a lot shorter than it already is. But look at this. First inning 0, second inning 0, third inning 0, fourth inning 0, fifth inning 0. It's that 6th inning, and it's happened over and over and over again. I think back to the Yankees game. This game, he made a start. I forgot the other game, but there was another game where he had a bad 6th inning. So, Melvin needs to know that Jordan Hicks needs to have a short leash in the 6th inning. And that's also something that Jordan Hicks should be actively working on with his pitching coaches, is how to get through that 6th inning, how to sequence your pitches to go through the lineup for a third time. I think that's mainly what it is these players see him twice, and then that third time through, they figure him out, and then they can hit him a bit better. But that's got to be something that he works on. So, anyway, it's late here in Utah, 11:45. I've got to get to bed. But congratulations to Luis Matos. Mr. Matos, if you see this, I would love some autographed memorabilia to put right there, under my goat right here. Madison Bumgarner, if you're watching this, you could sign this guy right here. Favorite player all time, Madison Bumgarner. Best postseason pitcher to ever pitch in the MLB. In MLB history, there's never been a better postseason pitcher than Madison Bumgarner. Anyway, that's going to do it for our show tonight. Thank you guys for watching. You guys were not supposed to see that. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. This is Kyle Soder from the Soder Report. Please help us out with a subscribe, a like, a comment. Let me know what you think of Luis Matos, Jordan Hicks. Should Jordan Hicks go to the bullpen? Should Luis Matos get more playing time? Let me know what you think. And we'll see you next time on the Soder Report.